Like I said, today's lesson is really short. We are converting between systems. Okay, so we're going metric to imperial or imperial back to metric. All right? This is something that is especially important in North America because we're stuck with the Americans. And they do a bunch of things, well, they do everything in imperial. And we also live and work in a global economy. So sometimes stuff is measured or shipped based on metric measurements. If you would like a real life example of this, you all know that Target Canada disappeared, right? And you all know it disappeared because it lost a lot of money, right? One of the reasons it lost a lot of money was at the very beginning when they opened, they had empty shelves because the program that they used to stock their shelves electronically was an American program. So how did it measure the stores? Imperially. So when they ordered stuff and shelves and everything, it got screwed up when it came to Canada because all their plans and things in Canada had to be metric. So it is something that is kind of important. Okay, so please notice we are converting between systems. Now, are we still doing a conversion like we did yesterday? Yeah, it's still a conversion. So does the same method work? Yeah, because it's a method. Okay? We're still going to do the same thing. So remember, it's the measurement we want over the measurement we have, and you multiply that by what you're converting. Now remember, as you practice this more and more, you're going to need to write it out less and less. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are going to get to the point where you don't have to check if it's divide or multiply. You're just going to know. All right? But we always start this way because, like I say, it's then it will always work. So, again, there's no special tricks to it. It's just practice. 19 meters long. I want the nearest foot. So I want to convert 19 meters. That's what I want to convert. And I want to convert it to feet. So I got to go to my sheet and look up meters and feet. You have that on the sheet somewhere, I think. Or maybe you don't. Yeah, you don't actually have that. What do you have? You have feet and centimeters. But you know that in SI, centimeters is the same as meters, yes? What's the only difference? The numbers are the same. What is the only difference? What moves in SI? The decimal. How far does the decimal have to move to get from centimeters to meters? How many steps? Centi is French for what? 100. It's in chunks of 10. So how many 10 times 10s go into 100? 2. So the decimal's got to move 2 spaces, right? So that means, and you can write this right on your sheet if you want, 1 foot equals 0.3048 meters. You picking up what I'm putting down? You already had the tools to figure that out, but they didn't give it to you in your knowledge package because they want you to do some math. Got it? So let us go back to where we were. So now I need the measurement I want, which is feet. 1 foot equals 0.3048 meters. Now, we just multiply across. 19 times 1 is 19. divided by 0.3048. And you're going to do that on your calculator. Okay? Everybody with me? It's no different, right? It's just uglier numbers because imperial doesn't work pretty. And then you're going to do that with your calculator. And of course, that is 19 divided by 0.3048. And what do you get for an answer? 62.33. Do I care about the points? Why? Because the question asked for nearest foot. So 62 will do. Picking up what I'm putting down? Read my mail, mowing my lawn? You are killing me, Mark. Here. You're happy with that?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody good? Nothing changes. What if we were in chemistry class and we were changing some weird thing that you have never heard the measurement of? Would you follow the same rules? Yeah, because you'll always get the conversion factors because nobody's going to expect you to memorize that. Everyone cool? The method stays the same. All right? Now you can start noticing things like where the 1 is, you don't have to worry about it, right? If the 1's on top, you're dividing. If the 1's on the bottom, you're multiplying. Those are the shortcuts that you got to pick up on your own. Everybody good with that? And the more times you do this, the less you'll have to write it all out. I don't write any of it out. 62 miles south, 98 kilometers north. Who drove further? What do you have to do with this question? What's wrong with it? That's the key, Abresia. You have to convert either one. I have given this question many times, and I've watched kids turn this to kilometers and this to miles, and they don't know the answer then. They're still like, I don't know. And they don't recognize that you only had to convert one of them. I've had kids give me this and that on a test with different names and stuff, half the page filled in and then no answer, even though they converted both things. Okay? That's a problem for math teachers. That means you're memorizing how to do steps, but you're not thinking about what the question is actually asking you. Do you understand? That's a problem. So which one do you want to convert? Does it matter? No. I'll convert that one in blue. 62 times, what do I want? Kilometers, right? So 1.609 over 1. So that's straight multiply. Which is 99.76. Have I answered the question now? Who drove further, Hannah or Farron? Hannah. By very little, but she did drive further. Now, just in red, just because, let's change 98 to miles. 98K. Now I want miles on the top. 1 mile over 1.609K. So that is 98 divided by 1.609 is 60.9 miles. So either way we did it, Hannah still wins. Okay? And again, I stress, there is no trickery. You just have to follow the conversion rules. All right? Now, when it does get tricky is when there's 4 or 5 measurements in a question, yes? And a great many of you just start converting things all over the place and you get lost. Stop and look at the question and decide what you have to convert before you start working. This, of course, actually happens. When you go to the driver's license place to get your learner's permit, have any of you done this yet? They ask your height. You give your height in feet and inches, don't you? And then they go and they find a chart that they never have with them. I don't know why. I don't understand. Every time I've gone to the license place, the people have to look around on their desk to find their little chart. If it were me, I would have it taped to the computer. Or I would change the program so it converts automatically. But that's just me. So, this is a real life thing. This happens all the time. Let me give you a piece of advice, ladies and gentlemen especially. When you get older and you have to go in to renew your driver's license, the last time I went in there, the lady that was talking to me and helping me was very, very pretty. And when they asked me my height, I said 177 centimeters. And she smiled, and she was so happy that she didn't have to find her little sheet. If I was a single dude, that would have been my ice-breaking moment, and I would have found out her name, and we would have gone on the date. Little things like that, gentlemen. Little things like that save the day. And all the girls are like, you're an idiot. Except that stuff works when you're older. Of course, she would have had to be single too. Although maybe, I don't know. I'm pretty awesome. Yeah. All right. This is the first of the questions that becomes difficult. Why is this question difficult? Yeah, I actually have 3 measurements here, don't I? I have feet, I have inches, and I need to get to centimeters. Now, when you look on your sheet, you have feet to centimeters, and you have inches to centimeters. So how many conversions do we have to do here? 2. We got to convert feet to inches and centimeters to inches. Or is there a way we can get away with it? Mark?
You could convert the 6 feet to inches.
I could convert the 6 feet to inches and then add 2, couldn't I? Right? 3 ways you could do this question. Am I going to do all 3? Obviously not. Who decides which method? Who decides which method you use? You do. So you got to read the question, decide what is the best way for you. I personally go 6 times 12 equals 72 inches plus 2 inches gets me 74 inches. Now I can convert straight to centimeters, can't I? I need centimeters, so it's 2.54 centimeters. Do I need to write over 1? No, because does divide by 1 matter? Does divide by 1 change our answer? No. So I'm not even going to write it. You'll notice I am already starting to incorporate my own shortcuts into my work. Okay? Now, some of you might be a little nervous about that, and you may want to still write it's over 1 inch. That's cool. Go ahead. So what's the answer? 74 times 2.54? 187.96. I want the nearest centimeter, so I round that off to 188. Now, guys, I can't stress this enough. Right now, there are no provincial exams for you. They're going to come back. I firmly believe that. Whether I agree with it or not, I think they're going to come back. So I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Also, if you're planning to go to university or college, you often have to take an entrance exam. Those entrance exams, especially if provincials are going to go away, are going to be multiple choice tests. And they are going to write the multiple choice questions in order to fool you. When you punch this into your calculator, what do you get? 74. Maybe if you turned your calculator on, you idiot, you would find out. I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking to me. On. 74 times 2.54. 187.96. Cool? Guess what choice A on the test is going to be? 187.96. Guess what choice D is going to be? 188. How many of you will circle A? Because it's shown on your calculator. At least a few of you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Pay attention to your work. Okay? Because that will be marked right or wrong if you circled A. Right or wrong? Wrong. Did you do the math right? Do you know how to do the math? Should it be marked wrong? No, because that's not a math question. That becomes an English question, doesn't it? Or a pay attention question. So be careful with that, okay? I don't do that very often. I do it once or twice to mess with your heads, just to make sure you are aware of it. This is a great question because if you drive a truck, where do most of our trucks drive? North, south, right? So you got to drive in the States and you got to drive up here, right? Everything in the States is measured in what? Imperial, which is fractions, feet, and inches. Everything up here is measured in meters, which is decimals, right? And meters and centimeters. Okay? How many of you are aware of that overpass on the highway at exit or at 240th Street where the train goes over? Next time you drive either way, have a look at the concrete on the overpass and see how many chunks are missing from it. Why is that? People don't know the height of their truck in metric or imperial, depending on what they have. Which is also why there's that big laser now that says, don't stop, drive, turn off here. Because the trucks get stuck under there. One time in Vancouver, a boat carrying a crane was going under one of the bridges. Well, you know all the bridges in Vancouver that go over the river. Well, a boat carrying a crane was going under the bridge, a barge with a crane on it. But it was high tide, so the water was higher than it should have been. The crane hit a pipe under the bridge, knocked the crane over, and broke the pipe because they didn't understand clearances. They obviously didn't take Math 10 in my class, did they, Mark? So, what are we converting here? It's the exact same question we just did, isn't it? What do we got to convert? I could convert meters to feet and inches. That's one option. Can I convert feet and inches to meters? That's another option. Do they both work? Who decides which one to do? You guys do. Now you can have a bit of fun with this one. Because this 9 is 11 feet and 9/12 of the next foot, isn't it? Isn't 9/12 11 3/4? And isn't 11 3/4 11.75? Is that all okay? So now I've got 11.75 feet. I can easily change that to meters, can't I? I go to my data booklet and I actually have feet to meters. We've already done it. It's 0.3048. So I come back to here and I can go 11.75 times, and I want feet. 1 foot, 0.3048 meters. Other way around, of course. I'm an idiot. I want meters, not feet. 11.75 times 0.3048. And that gets me 3.58 meters. The bridge is 3.58. The truck is 3.5. Do we go for it? 8 centimeters of clearance. Antonio's like a balls to the wall. Drive, man. You'll make it. No problem. Meanwhile, his Canadian passenger who he picked up hitchhiking is like, don't do it, man! Don't! She's trying to get her seatbelt on. Ah! Thud! No, you made it through, Antonio. Unless your tires were overinflated or something. That happened in Cleveland. No, Cincinnati. Some truck got stuck in a tunnel on like the busiest street ever. And everyone's like, oh, we'll never get this truck out of here. It's going to be all day. We'll never get it out. Somebody said, let the air out of the tires. Then the truck drove out. Traffic was saved. Truck's tires weren't saved, but guy's an idiot for driving into the tunnel and getting stuck anyway. Well, sometimes, Antonio, what happens is the truck is the right size, but people pile the trailer too high. And the truck makes it, but the trailer doesn't. That sometimes happens.
Yeah, but how did you get in there?
Well, he was driving so fast that he... Which is why I did that. Ah! When you hit the wall and stop. All right. And then the rest of this is just more practice. Without word problems, because everybody hates word problems. Notice I did this backwards. Last time I did the easy stuff first, then I did word problems. This time I was mean to you. I started with word problems. Miles to kilometers. I have miles. I want kilometers. So 1.609 up top. Do I need to even write the one on the bottom? Nope. Then I do my math. $150 meters to yards. I want yards. Where do I find the conversion factor? Where does it live? On your sheet. 0.9144, right? So I check. Meters to yards, right here. 1 yard is 9144 meters. Yards on top, 150 times 0.9144. 137.16. 72 inches to centimeters, 72. I want centimeters, so 2.54. Do I need the one on the bottom? Nope. 182.88. Everybody good? That's all there is to it. Now remember, this is math class. This is not reality. In reality, you have to go back and forth, 2 or 3 conversions at a time to actually perform a conversion. So if you only can do one step and you think you've got it and you stop practicing, you're going to be in trouble. You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay? There's more to it than this. This is the practice so you can put it all together and do a long question. Okay? Kilometers to miles. I want miles. So 1 mile is 1.609 K. So this is a divide, isn't it? Now we start to get to trouble. Why is number 8 trouble? What's weird about 8? There's going to be decimals. What's weird about 8? Or, sorry, not 8, 9. Duh, learn to read. What's weird about 9? It's got yards and inches. And I want to go to meters. There's no conversion for inches to meters, is there? So you've got to either figure out what steps you're going to use or convert yards to meters, then inches to centimeters and centimeters to meters. There's a lot of ways you could do this, yeah? I am going to turn this into inches. I'm going to go inches to centimeters. That's my goal. And then centimeters to meters. Right? So to get inches, I got to do 8 yards times 36. That gets me my inches for yards. Plus how many? 3. I know bed mass. 8 times 36 plus 3. is 291 inches. Now I can go inches to centimeters, can't I? I want centimeters, 2.54. $739.14. Now I want to go centimeters to meters. How many decimal place steps is that? 2, centimeter to meter. So move the decimal 2 spaces, 7.3914. Everybody cool? Everybody's cool? Now I want to show you on a calculator a mistake that people often make, and I don't really get why. They do the first conversion. 8 times 36 plus 3. And they get an answer of 291. And then they push clear. Don't do that. You need that number again, don't you? So leave it on your calculator. Now I need to do 291 times 2.54. This is why you write it out. So I can just go times 2.54. Now, what if I cleared it? Most of you know this button exists, but some of you, every year I find kids that don't know it exists. On your calculator somewhere is an ANS button. If you don't use your calculator very often, you may not know what's there. That ANS holds in the calculator's memory the last number that the calculator got when you hit equals. So it is living in the calculator's memory for you. So make sure you're aware of that ANS button. You're going to use it a lot this year. Okay? Because up until grade 10, you pretty much did one thing on your calculator and you had the answer, right? Grade 9 wasn't that difficult. In grade 10, the questions are long. So you're going to need that answer button. So answer times 2.54. There's my 739.14. And then I just moved the decimal. I moved the decimal in my head. But I could also have done times. Nope, not times. Sorry. Divided by 100 to get my 7.39. Cool? So use that ANS button. It's your friend. So the next question's the same thing, yeah? 12 foot 6 inches to meters. So what would your strategy be? This is an easier one because 6 inches works for us, doesn't it? What is 6 inches? Half a foot. So isn't this 12? Whoa, good gravy. What happened there? Isn't this 12.5 feet? We can do that sometimes, can't we? What are the inch measurements that work well as a decimal? 3 inches works well because that's a quarter of a foot, right? 0.25. 6 inches works well because that's half a foot. 9 inches works well because that's 0.75. 4 works okay because it's 0.33. And 8 works okay because it's 0.67. You with me? That's math that you guys can figure out on your own. So 12.5, and I want meters. I want meters, so it's 0.3048 over 1. .81. And the last one, 14 meters, 28 centimeters to yards. This is the opposite way around. Can I do something to that to make it easy to punch into my calculator? What? I could put it totally into centimeters, or I could go 14.28 meters, couldn't I? And then meters can go straight to yards. Right? I want yards, so it's 1 yard is 0.9144 meters. So that's a division spot, right? Fitting 0.62. You guys should have noticed a little bit by now 2 decimal places more than enough. Your job now is you do number 12 and you do sheet 1.3. That's it for homework tonight. 1.3 should be the next sheet in your book. Is it? Excellent. That's your homework for tonight. And I'm giving you 15 minutes with which to do it. I, of course, am going to write the correct answer right now on here. It will be on the video. You won't see it behind me. The video will be uploaded to YouTube. You can mark your work tonight, along with the worksheet. Okay, I'll put the answers up to the worksheet as well. You can check it over. Again, it's just like your textbook. You're going to have the right answers, but do the work first. And then tomorrow when you come in, we can go over any ones that you have a different answer than me. Okay? And in case anybody cares, one day I will tell you the story. I did indeed drive that far in the United States. It was very fun. I highly recommend road tripping through the United States before Trump wins. He won't win, don't worry. I know some of you care about world politics. He will not win. He won't win, don't worry. When you do sheet 1.3, guys, I know normally I say I don't want imperial measurements in decimals. Just go ahead. Do you understand what I'm saying? Normally, like if we were transferring, just leave the decimals in, even though they're imperial. Because I'm not testing you on that. I'm testing on your ability to make a conversion. Picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what it looks like on the computer. It's 25. Mr. DeVries is getting very animated next door. You don't normally hear him. You normally hear me, but you don't normally hear Mr. DeVries.
Your trick is to get 2 meters high.
Shut up about my typo. Everybody makes fun of my typo there. Everybody's so keen on details to make fun of me, but they have no problem leaving details out of their work. It's hurtful, Mark, I tell you. It's hurtful. Actually, leave that one in there so I can do this gag. I know it's there. I just don't change it so I can do this. Why? Because I'm a bit of a. Number 6, I believe it is, Mark?
Yeah.
Look at number 6. Read the question.
It's number 5.
Oh, it's number 5. U is right beside I, and spell check doesn't pick that up because trick is a word. Huh? Still, Sean, really?
No, I got one.
All right. Okay. Okay, remember, check your work online tonight. Have good days, everyone. Bye-bye. You too.
Was it only up to 12 that we had to do?
Yep. Hey, how's it going? Yeah?
I don't know where my seat went.
Oh, it's back there.
was.
Terrific. Have a seat. I believe you. You can read it.